But I didn't live on them. No. I didn't live on them like people might thought I did. I didn't. I took a little bit, tried it, but it wasn't good for my brain. You know what I mean? I was a little bit, you know, is he crazy or is he normal? Well, some people say he's about half crazy, and they were probably about right.
So it was kind of like, all right, and I took a modest amount of steroids. That started anyway from that point on. Took them when I went to WWF. I never denied that I took them, but I took them in moderation over a period of time for probably about 5 years. And when I won the title, I was drug-free. My whole career from that point on was drug-free as far as WWE went, and I was always proud of being the champion and being a guy that held the championship, that took WWE after Hulk Hogan and steroids. I can say this much: if you never heard of steroids, you still would have heard Bret Hart.
I saw the physique and the 22-inch arms and the body as a drawing card, part of my package with the tie-dye and the Muhammad Ali like wrap and the whole entertainment package. It fit the package. It fit the package. So I had to take steroids nonstop. And that was also the reason I had to have my hip replaced, was because of the tremendous prolonged use in heavy doses of steroids. One of the side effects was to stop the blood supply to the bone joints, and the bone joint would literally die. And my doctor, Dr. Dorr, coined the phrase, the death of a bone. And then the blood supply to my back stopped, and my spine started to collapse. I lost 4 inches of height over the years because of no blood supply, and the L3 and 4 vertebrae have fused. There's no cartilage between those vertebrae because of lack of blood supply. And then the ankles collapsed because of lack of blood supply to the ankles. So there was a heavy price to pay for the amount of steroids, the heavy doses, and the prolonged use.
I look at my career of 23 years, and the fact that I never one single time in my entire career ever injured one wrestler. There was not one wrestler that ever got up the next day and couldn't work and couldn't do his job. I think the only wrestler I can think of off the top of my head that I really injured was Vader. I think I chipped his teeth one time with a chair, but it was his fault. He was not supposed to move, and he moved. He even told me it was my fault I moved, and it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. But, I took great pride in not hurting any of the guys that I worked with, and unfortunately, a lot of the guys I worked with didn't necessarily take the same pride in their own ability.
So I've got extreme arthritis in the joints from wrestling, in my shoulders. Both my knees, I need a knee replacement. I tore both quads. I ripped my right tricep. I lost a couple of teeth.
I've had 10 knee surgeries in my lifetime. I've had my shoulder rebuilt, my ankle rebuilt. Concussions there's no way to count them.
I've had a couple broken noses. I've had both eyes split. I lost my left ear. I've had wrist surgery, elbow surgery, 4 knee surgeries, a foot surgery, and I need a shoulder surgery.
I've had both my knees replaced, both my shoulders replaced. I've had, my wrist replaced. Anyway, I've had knees operated on, Achilles tendons on my back.
I limped off the Luther one night and said, "Old man, I want your world belt, right?" He told me to look at some broad in the front row and knocked out 6 of my front teeth. That was quite an evening.
Are we trying to kill each other? No. But you have to be in the same type of shape. You're putting your body through a beating. I've had both of my knees totally replaced 6 months ago. I've had 2 surgeries on my neck.
My nose has been broken about 7 times. I've taken all the bone out of it, as you can see. And and those things just happen. Those things just happen in the ring, from forearms, guys landing, whatever.
I'm a train wreck. I'm one of wrestling's train wrecks. But for all intents and purposes, I probably deserve to be from the way I worked. I worked hard. I've had broken my collarbone, I broke my sternum, fractured my sternum, broke my tailbone, broke my eardrum, which counts because it was one of the most painful. Had my head kicked off my shoulders almost by Bill Goldberg, which ended my career with a concussion injury. Broken just about every finger on both hands. Broke my wrist.
To this day, that's as far as I can lift my arm. That's it right there. And I'm trying right now to do it. It is just not there. The nerve is pinched so bad.
Yeah, I've had a lot of injuries. I've had dislocations. I've had broken bones. But you talk about 350 days a year. If you go in with a dislocated shoulder, a bad knee, a deviated septum from getting hit in the nose between the horns, you gotta wrestle anyway. So most of the wrestlers die at a young age. After they quit, the body doesn't hold together.
Everybody gets hurt in the game. You just do. It's part of it. You're going over a rope, you're going through a rope, you're going under the ropes, you're hitting concrete. You get hurt. So I probably would have been more hurt than I am now. I got a bad leg from football, but wrestling, it just hurts you. You can't wrestle 350 times a year and not get hurt year after year, or worse, get crippled, or worse, get dead.
Guy that walks into a bar. You walk into a bar every day. I look around the room. I say, okay, all right, well, there's a few country people in there. I'll go to the jukebox, play the jukebox. I'll have 50 friends, not 50, but 15 friends by the end of the night. That was awesome. I love the music you play. Reading the room, right? So, with pro wrestling, I'd walk into a locker room, like, all right, well, he does coke, he does this. And I fit in. I would just go and like, all right, we're going out tonight. All right, we'd go out. Somebody's doing a few lines. Well, I'll bust a few lines with them. They're drinking. Let's take some ecstasy. I would do all that. But my biggest blessing is when I woke up the next morning, I'd be going, what the hell was I thinking? I just spent 50 extra bucks or 100 extra bucks on this and that, where other people were still like, oh, God, I gotta have some more, I gotta have some more. And so, I think I was blessed with non-addiction, but I was cursed with the fact that I wanted to fit in everywhere and make everybody happy.
Piper and me riding down the road, doing 8 balls of cocaine. Get up the next morning and go do it all over again. But that was, we were pacing ourselves. That was the 80s. Or me and Ric Flair drinking 4 cases of beer between towns and still driving and keeping it on the road.
During my era, when I first started, drugs were out. Never knew what they were. Steroids, I don't think they'd been invented yet. But beer had. And if one of the wrestlers had a problem, it was always alcohol.
There's always been wrestlers that drank hard. There's, I think through the 70s and 80s, and King Curtis and Mark Lewin in that period, there was a lot of guys that were super potheads and, they got so high all the time they could hardly even lace their boots up and stuff like that. But the drugs, the pills, they started because I always thought it was for sure American. I blame the Americans, but I blame the Americans. A lot of the American wrestlers were turning guys on to taking downers and speed.
To make the pain go away, to make the pain of separation of my children, because very close to my children, very close. So to make that pain of separation going away, I would and also make the pain of the physical trauma that I had just gone through in some of these matches go away, and my own psychological pain go away. I would take a lot of downers, and I did have problems with the downers. But the next morning at 8 o'clock or 7:30, I'd hit my speed. I'd drop some speed, amphetamines, and I'd hit the gym.
People that travel all the time, they deal with this. They deal with the loneliness of being on the road and being away from home, being away from family, and they all deal with it in many ways. And, oftentimes it comes down to drugs and alcohol and other women.